Welcome to my review of the CCA CSN. As it states there, this is a hybrid and mine is the grey model, as you can see there. As usual, full disclaimer is I bought this from AliExpress myself. I was not paid to do this video and all the thoughts and opinions are my own. And these are a very competitively priced hybrid, so there's only one dynamic and one balanced armature per side. So very cheap, around 11, I think just over £11 I paid, so very affordable. And the reason why I wanted to try this is because the actual armature is actually in the actual shell, not in the nozzle, which I think it's for better kind of sound signature, better tonality. And anyway, let's get into the video. So as you can see, mine is a grey one. There is also a blue variant. Personally, I don't have that, but I went for the kind of more subtle, kind of dark grey, graphite, whatever you want to call it, kind of one. Hybrid, as I stated in the beginning, which is a one balanced armature and one dynamic. Nothing there, nothing there. Mine is the non-mic version as usual. So specs 3.5mm audio jack, which is normal, 0.75, which is normal as well. Just 20 Hz to 40,000 Hz for 40 kilohertz. Impedance of 22 ohm and sensitivity is 112. These are very easy to power, so you can power these off your phone. And dun dun dun, there's no earphones because I've been using them. But yeah, through the power of editing, I'll show you what's in the box. So it looks like, if this is correct, mine was made in March this year, so 29th of March 2021, if that's correct. But anyway, you get the normal information, so you get user guide. You've seen me show this many a times, but that's the Chinese one. This side is English. The usual information there. Sensitivity, volume level. Obviously, lower the better to protect your hearing. That's if you have the one with the inline microphone and controls, which I don't. And yeah, just the normal kind of safety information there. There's it there. Warranty information there. If you have to claim, good luck with that. Tips. So this has in here small and large tips, which I'll show you in a second. Cable. I like how you get these at this kind of price range. You do get the silver cables. These are much better than they used to be, as you can see there. So they use that kind of their C-type connector. It says R on there, if you can just about see it. So it's that type of connection if you ever want to get different cables. Yeah, for an included cable it works fine. Strain release there. Don't need to unpack that, you've seen me do that before. But for what's included, it works perfectly fine. Again, this is around £11 for this for me to buy. So maybe like $15, give or take. And yeah, onto the earphones themselves. So, oops. So kind of a dark grey graphite. The shell is quite big for what they are. You get the one with the thin nozzle. Typically, I prefer the one with a wider nozzle. But yeah, thin nozzle design, kind of custom shape. Obviously, you can see it's that kind of connector there. The one thing that's, like I said in the actual introduction, is here is the armature, if the camera will focus. So right there, you can see the armature, which is one of the reasons why I wanted to try this. And there's the dynamic. So that means there's a lot of empty. All this on the left hand side is basically empty, apart from like the wires, which is kind of odd. But that's kind of one negative, is it's a large shell for what it is. And yeah, that's what they look like. Fit and finish is good. And yeah, on to the review. So yeah, straight on to comfort. Considering this is actually quite large, as you can see, it's quite a large shell. I really actually had no issues with comfort. Obviously, I think some people might, because it's quite large in proportions for what it is. Like I said before, there's a lot of empty space. I think they could have made it smaller, but personally the comfort was actually quite good. So for an example, I've got the DQ6, which I reviewed not that long ago. You can see this is actually larger. The DQ6 is a little bit smaller, as you can see. These are the same kind of nozzle type. You can see that's got 3 drivers, this has got 2. It's a bit larger, so just bear that in mind. And yes, so for comfort it was alright really. Isolation I thought was actually quite good, and soundstage, like the width, considering was actually quite good. I think one of the reasons I do like this, I find a tangent, is why, see the armature, it's just there. It uses the 30095, which KZ have used a lot and CCA have used a lot. But I think it really helps that the armature is in the shell itself. More companies need to do that. If these can do it for this kind of price, anyone can do it. I think TRN should really do the same thing on their budget hybrids. But yeah, isolation's good. Imaging is okay. Sound, to get straight into sound, kind of not what I was expecting. I think it uses the Zun driver, spelled XUN, I think what it's called. It seems quite a competent dynamic. So I was expecting like a big V, kind of V shape, but they're not. They're quite balanced. It sounds more like a mild kind of V shape. Yeah, so more of a mild V. They can rumble if they have to, but if they're not boomy or anything all the time, it's actually the low end quite surprised me for the cost, as in actually sounded better than I expected. But as you can see, the dynamic is there. It's hard in real life. The shell is a bit clearer. I think it just looks a bit dark on the camera. You can see right there. But yeah, the low frequencies are actually quite good. Kind of got the balance right, not really overly bassy, but they can do sub bass and mid bass kind of without a problem. Yeah, decay seems good for the price, not much really to complain about. Mids, vocals was clear, both male and female. Female ones were a little bit more clearer. I didn't find this really shouty. I'm not quite sure what they've done with the crossover, but they've kept it quite kind of tame. So it's not like the C12 model, which is a bit more in your face. This is a bit more tame. But yeah, for vocals, the mids, it seems fine really. They've done quite a good job. Treble, so there's an elevation in the upper mids, low treble as usual. Normally where vocals normally sit for females, that kind of area. So like I said, it's very clear, no issues at all. Not really shouty, it's a little bit elevated over what I'd class as normal or neutral, but I had no issues. But yeah, treble region, again quite clear. There is a little bit of roll off, which is good if you're treble sensitive, which I find these are. If you're treble sensitive, these are actually quite good. Kind of a short kind of review really is CCA. They've done quite a actually for the actual price what these are at. They've actually done quite a good job. They've kept the tuning kind of tame is probably the best way to describe it. And I'm quite glad they did that. And they've used a good kind of good bit of tuning with the 30095, which is obviously you can see there. There it is, right there. Good, they kept it kind of tame, because normally it's overly aggressive, like the KZZAX, which is it can be harsh, and I found the DQ6 with the dark can be a little bit harsh as well. But I'm quite glad they actually kept the tuning kind of tame. But yeah, they do actually work quite well. Only real negatives at this price is you can. If you're doing some of the quite complex music, so I mean if you're playing complex music, you can kind of, the B8 sometimes can't keep up because it's only one driver. But it's for the price kind of perspective that these are at, it works perfectly fine. Obviously they priced them quite competitively, which is actually quite good. not much to say really. They do actually do quite a good job. But yeah, base it's pretty good. I don't think it's good as the more expensive models, but then again, this is actually priced quite effective, so I can't really say much about it. But instruments are quite clear. Pretty good really for the price. I kind of prefer these a bit more over the DQ6. They sound a little bit more refined. I don't know why. Obviously for the price, these are a good set, but I think something about the tuning. I think it's just a little bit. I think the crossover, they've done the crossover is probably a little bit better on those. I just wish it was a bit smaller, really. But like the cable that comes with it is perfectly fine. There's nothing really wrong with it. Treble's just a little bit over neutral, shall we say? But yeah, it's for the price, for just over £11. It's hard to really complain. They do what they're supposed to do. Probably the best cheap hybrid I've tried, and I've tried quite a few. Helps that they've shoved it in actual shoved. It helps that they've moved it into the actual shell. When it's always in there, it's like straight into your ear, which is not the best, but yeah, kind of a safe, mildish V kind of tuning, and yeah, for the price, I would recommend them. Now on to the actual conclusion. So on to the conclusion of the CCA CSN is, for the price, I can't really complain. They performed, to be honest, better than I expected. They look kind of cool in this kind of smoky, really dark grey kind of finish. I wish they had the wider nozzles. I'm not really keen on these thin ones, really, but and the shell could be a bit smaller, but apart from that, the tuning is actually quite good. Kind of slightly tame tuning, which is, I don't mind at all. Better to be slightly tame than over aggressive. Easy to power. Personally, for me, the fit was good. Isolation's good. Good enough stage. But yeah, I think the big difference is that the armature was actually in the shell, not the nozzle. But yeah, for the price, can't really say much. They do what they actually, they're actually supposed to do. And they look kind of cool at it. But they fit me really well. If you have really small ears, they might not be very good, but not much I can really do about that. And yeah, for the price, they're pretty good. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, and take care.